Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the world's most beautiful melodies. Number, I don't know what it is, 1920. Who knows? There's so many beautiful melodies. And we're going to talk about all of them at one point or another. But this one is by Tchaikovsky. Now, when you talk about the world's most beautiful melodies, and Tchaikovsky, who wrote probably a couple dozen of them, which one do we pick? Well, I have my own thoughts, and you've had many of yours. I've gotten suggestions, and we know what the big ones are. There's the love theme from Romeo and Juliet, the second subject of the first movement of the First Symphony, the slow movement in the Fifth Symphony, that wonderful lyrical thing in the 1812 Overture, the central episode in Francesca da Rimini, the love, that's a love theme too. Can't have too many love themes, can we? I mean, Tchaikovsky just churned them out, but some of his most gorgeous melodies. I mean, the big tune in Swan Lake. I mean, you just can't stop listing them, but are some of the best. Some of the best, let me slow down and not stumble over myself. Some of the best are his waltz tunes. Tchaikovsky was as much a master of the waltz as was Johann Strauss Jr. He was unbelievable. And we all know which tunes those are, too. There's the Waltz of the Flowers from the Nutcracker. There's the Waltz from Swan Lake, the Waltz from Sleeping Beauty, the Waltz from the Serenade for Strings, the third movement of the Fifth Symphony, that's a waltz. I mean, even the second movement of the First Symphony, the Sixth Symphony, is a limping waltz in 5/4 time. Tchaikovsky had waltz music in his bones, and his waltz melodies combine passion and elegance in equal measure. He had just this natural shapeliness of musical expression that could be, it could rise to hysterical gouts of passion, but it could also be as sophisticated and worldly and elegant and tasteful and just remarkable. And I'm going to play you a waltz by Tchaikovsky, and it's not any of the ones that you've mentioned, and it's probably not any of the ones that you think about. But the reason I want to play it for you is because it's to prove a point. I have a didactic purpose here. The didactic purpose is this. This is a throwaway tune. Nobody lists it as one of their favorite Tchaikovsky waltz melodies or Tchaikovsky melodies. Maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. I don't know. I'm not going to say. I think it's gorgeous because I played this piece and I was sitting in the back of the orchestra, of course, waiting for the cymbal part to chime in. And this tune came waltzing in, and I just sat back there and said, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Where has it been? Well, I'll tell you where it's been. It's the trio section of the scherzo of his very first symphony, Winter Dreams. It's an amazing, amazing little tune. Fantastic. And I want to play it for you now. This is a performance featuring Maurice Abravanel and the Utah Symphony. And it's just the most lovely, lovely, lovely tune. And it's not a big number. It's a throwaway tune. Trios of scherzos or minuets, most symphonies, they're not the part the composer pays attention to. They're not the part that most people cite as their top 10 melodies. But with Tchaikovsky, writing gorgeous, elegant, fabulous, tuneful, wonderful, thematic ideas was just second nature. It was a gift. It was a gift. And in this very first symphony, that gift is abundantly manifest. It's a beautiful symphony, people really ought to listen to it and play it more often. It's gorgeous. So here is the trio section, the waltz, from the scherzo, the third movement of Symphony Number 1, Winter Dreams, or sometimes Winter Daydreams. I don't know, Winter Dreams. It's winter and it has dreams. Here you go. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it lovely when you hear it in isolation? Now, this tune, because it's a central section of a larger movement, it's not a self-contained theme. It never ends. It wants to go round and round and round, coming back forever. And the only way that Tchaikovsky can stop it is by interrupting it in midstream and moving back to the initial section of the scherzo, which is what happens as soon as that little climax that I played is achieved. And then the scherzo proper comes back. But wow, what a beautiful, beautiful melody. And it's, like I said, it's not one that anybody ever thinks about when they think about Tchaikovsky's great melodies. But maybe it's not a great melody in a sense, but it is a typical melody. It's a characteristic melody. It belongs to Tchaikovsky and nobody else. No one else could have written it. And when you hear it, I think you immediately say, oh my goodness, that sounds like Tchaikovsky. And even at this early stage in his career, he had that melodic gift. And so I wanted to use this as the sort of world's most beautiful melody in embryo, because all of those later ones, the seed of all of those later ones is here. It's here in the central section of the scherzo of Symphony Number 1. So keep on listening, folks. Thank you for joining me. Take care.